Alright, I don't know if you guys can hear me, but I am on air. Let's take a look at some weather. Alright, pretty much Hurricane Center is monitoring 4 areas of disturbed weather across the Atlantic and the Caribbean. So I'm just going to go through some weather information, some tropical tidbits information, and I'm going to go through some headlines that I found interesting tonight. Just wanted to hang out and do a live stream. So here we go. Alright, Hurricane Center monitoring 4 areas of disturbed weather across the Atlantic and the Caribbean. Alright, as you see here, there's 4 disturbances in the Atlantic. Let's take a look at this headline and read it. National Hurricane Center forecasts are keeping an eye on 4 areas disturbed weather in the Atlantic and Caribbean that could turn into the next tropical storm or hurricane, including one off the coast of Africa that has a 60% chance of developing in the next 5 days. The lull in tropical activity after Hurricane Florence looks like it might be ending. One system with odds of development into a storm is also one of the farthest away, coming off the West African coast. Showers and thunderstorms associated with a tropical wave located about 600 miles southeast of the Cabo Verde Islands are showing some signs of organization, the Hurricane Center said Friday. The environment is forecast to be conducive for slow development, and a tropical depression could form early next week while the system moves westward at 15 to 20 miles an hour across the low latitudes of the eastern and central tropical Atlantic Ocean. Alright, the area to watch over the North Atlantic Ocean has the highest chance of development with 70%, which is right here above most of the Atlantic, the north part of the Atlantic. 70% chance within the next 5 days. This disturbance may become our next named storm, but should not affect land. Hopefully, it does stay in the Atlantic and does not come towards land. Alright, there is another area in the middle of the Atlantic with a 70% chance of becoming a tropical storm in the next 5 days, but it is not expected to impact land at any point. A non-tropical low-pressure system is forecast to develop tonight over the central subtropical Atlantic Ocean, midway between Bermuda and the Azores. Forecasters said conditions are expected to be conducive for the low to acquire subtropical or tropical characteristics, and a subtropical or tropical cyclone is expected to form late this weekend or early next week while the low meanders over the central Atlantic Ocean. 2 other areas of disturbed weather that have low chances of becoming storms are located in the Caribbean. Alright, about 600 miles from Windward Island and just southeast of Bermuda. Aboard an area of low pressure located just southeast of Bermuda is producing minimal shower activity while it moves southward from 10 to 50 miles per hour, the Hurricane Center said. Although a combination of dry air and strong upper-level winds is expected to inhabit any significant development over the next few days, the environment could become conducive for slow development when the system moves over the southwest Atlantic Ocean during the middle part of next week. It has a 20% chance of becoming a tropical storm in the next 5 days, advisories said. As for the weather center system in the Caribbean, forecasters said a weak low-pressure area located about 600 miles east of the Windward Islands is producing disorganized showers and thunderstorms. The combination of dry mid-level air and strong upper-level winds is expected to hinder any further development of this low while it moves west-northwestward at around 10 miles per hour. Its chance of becoming a tropical cyclone in the next 5 days is just 10%. Alright, guys, let's take a look at the National Weather Center. Hurricane Center, right now in the Pacific there is nothing. It says tropical cyclone activity is not expected during the next 48 hours, which is very good. We don't need any more hurricanes or storm systems heading over to Hawaii. Alright, and right now in the Atlantic we have these 4 disturbances. This is disturbance 1 with a 40% chance of cyclone formation in 48 hours. It has a chance of 5 days with medium at 60%. We got to keep an eye out on this one coming off the African coast because we do not know exactly if it will turn into a hurricane or a storm yet. Also, disturbance number 2 with a 60% chance of cyclone formation in 48 hours and a formation chance of 5 days with medium at 60%. This is what we're talking about also that could turn into a possible storm maybe, but we got to keep an eye on it. These 2, and then also disturbance 3, a 10% chance of cyclone formation in 48 hours, a broad area of low pressure is located about 150 miles southeast of Bermuda. So it is off the coast. It's in the same area that Florence was earlier. I believe that they had said that this was part of Florence that had come off the jet stream and came down. So this could be Florence Part 2. We don't know. Hopefully, it does not develop into anything, but it has a low 10% chance of 48 hours development, and then in 5 days, a 30% chance of development. This disturbance 4 has a 30% chance of cycle formation in 48 hours, but we got to keep an eye on this as well. Hopefully, this one just meanders in the middle of the Atlantic and eventually goes off into the Atlantic and doesn't affect any land. All right now, looking off in close to Texas, there is some rain happening, and it is going through with the jet stream, that moisture and rain traveling toward the northeast, following the jet stream. So there's going to be rain through Texas, Oklahoma, all of these mid-states up into the Michigan area. All right, let's take a look at the Atlantic wide. Here is the storm that they were talking about off the South American coast and the Caribbean islands. This hopefully does not turn into anything, but we have seen last year this storm just like this happened. It was just in the Atlantic, and then it developed into a hurricane rather quickly, and then it hit Puerto Rico, which is Maria. So we got to keep an eye on this, that it does not develop into anything while it is in the Atlantic. Also, off of the coast of Africa, here we have rain, a lot of rain just hanging about, and hopefully this does not turn into a depression and into a hurricane. All right, let's take a look at more headlines. All right, hundreds without power across the valley. More than 1,000 Ohio Edison customers were without power Friday evening storm with the potential for severe weather. As of 10 p.m., FirstEnergy reported nearly 1,200 customers without power in Turnbull County. The majority of these customers were in Warren, which had 1,177 customers reporting power outages. So, the people from Brookfield Township, Hubbard Township, Liberty Township, Newton Township, and Vienna Township is a total of 717 customers that are without power tonight. So please be aware of the people in the Ohio area. There is no power in those townships. All right, next, National Weather Service confirms tornado touchdowns. The National Weather Service has confirmed at least 4 tornado touchdowns in southern Minnesota Thursday night. Touchdowns were confirmed near Grenada, near Faribault, near Medford, and near Morristown. In addition, the NWS said its survey team concluded the damage from near Lake Elysian to Waterville was tornadic, though it is not yet certain if it was a continuous track or 2 separate touchdowns. Other tornadoes were reported to have touchdown locations like Medford, Northfield, and Randolph. As you see here, some confirmed damage to a house that had ripped through Grenada, Minnesota on Thursday. All right, NWS crews were still working to confirm those reports. This is a breaking news story. The KSTP is working to get more details on this story and will post updates as more information becomes available. All right, so some tornadoes happening there. All right, next, let's see, weather cool down. Weather shake up this weekend. It says, brace for a titanic temperature drop this weekend. I can't emphasize enough how much cooler Saturday is going to be, with all-day clouds, damp conditions developing by the afternoon, and a cool northeast wind. Temps hold steady in the low 60s most of the day. That's right, low 60s after an assault of sizzling heat in the 90s. Don't be caught off guard. So hopefully this weekend, Saturday, we will have cool down all through the East Coast. Hopefully we will cool off and we won't have to be as hot as we have been. Alright, steady in the 60s all day Saturday. Light rain develops Saturday afternoon. A few wet rounds Saturday PM on Sunday. While spotty light rain is possible in the morning, it is more likely in the afternoon and evening. At some point, a steady chilly rain develops Saturday afternoon and night. See simulated radar images below. You see here the cool happening Saturday at 1. Well, this is forecasted Saturday at 1, and then Saturday through 6 p.m. future radar here of the cool down on the East Coast. If you're headed to Lexington, alright, so that's something for a game. But on Sunday, expect lingering showers, most of which will be south of the river. Alright, so a cool down happening. Hopefully that does happen and we get to cool off from these heat. I think it was 86 here in North Carolina, where I'm at. Alright, let's take a look at some other headlines. Severe thunderstorm, large hail, and destructive tornado hit Ottawa. 85,000 homes without power in Canada. Alright. Severe thunderstorms accompanied by large hail and destructive tornadoes swept through eastern Ontario and into Quebec during the afternoon hours of September 21st, 2018. The storm left widespread power outages, 3 serious injured people, in which one is in critical condition, and more than 60 damaged homes. Several homes were completely destroyed. The storm produced winds of up to 62 miles per hour, hail the size of golf balls, and a tornado which affected dozens of buildings, downed trees, and ripped shingles off of roofs. Widespread power outages were reported across a large swath of Ontario, Canada. We can confirm there are outages of over 85,000 customers across Ottawa as a result of the storm, including damage from winds, lightning, and tornado activity. There is significant damage to the grid, and all the crews are out assessing damage and will establish a priority restoration, Hydro Ottawa said. The tornado touched down near Dunrobin, Ottawa, and tracked east across the Ottawa River to Gatineau, Quebec, leaving a trail of destruction. Please do not hate me for mispronouncing some of these names. It is kind of difficult sometimes for me to pronounce names. Alright. It was one storm that tracked for quite a significant distance, said Peter Kimball, a warning preparedness meteorologist with Environment Canada. Alright, Ottawa paramedics said they responded to 16 tornadoes related calls in Dunrobin area from people trapped in houses, cars, power lines down, trauma from debris to secondary trauma from high winds. At least 3 people sustained serious injuries and 7 less severe. 1 person is in critical condition. About 60 homes in Dunrobin were damaged and several completely destroyed. It looks like a massive bomb explosion covering a wide area. It is a very tense situation for people living here, Ottawa Mayor Jim Watson said. The twister also caused significant damage in Gatineau, especially along Boulevard Cite des Jeunes, where a number of buildings had their roofs blown off. Alright, based on damage report, it is likely the tornado will be classified as an EF2, Kimberly said. The Ottawa airport suspended ground operations as a precaution because of lightning in the area. The airport lost power and is operating on a backup generator, the Ottawan Citizen reports. As you see here, power lines just snapped, the poles right in the middle, and these poles fell sideways. You can see an entire truck turning sideways from the wind damages. Excuse me a second. Alright, hopefully I don't get a cold, but just coughing for a second. Alright, so these storms have caused destroyed homes, destroyed power lines, trucks being overturned. Alright, and you see here the damage to the home. Look at these. The houses just smashed and debris strewn all over the ground. Wow. Alright, praying for the people of Canada. Hopefully they get to recover quickly and not have to deal with any more storms. But with looking at the satellite images of these jet streams just brushing through, it kind of shows explains why there would be tornadoes in that area. All right. Storm Knud. Dangerous windstorms affecting Norway, Denmark, and Sweden. Widespread damage expected. Alright, a rapidly deepening cyclone, locally known as Storm Nud, is developing in the North Sea today and is already affecting southeastern Norway, Denmark, and southeastern Sweden, producing very strong winds and heavy rain, extremely severe wind strength, likely peaking into 130 150 kilometers or 80 or 93 miles per hour is possible in many areas. Widespread damage is expected. Morning pressure analysis reveals a rapidly deepening cyclone in the North Sea, just west of Denmark, moving towards northeast and southwest. Meteorologists report several winds have already reported several stations of the open sea and peak gusts reaching 70 miles per hour. Gusts up to 56 miles per hour have also been reported along the coast of Netherlands. Officials in Norway said the storm will directly hit Vendizel, Jambergut, Thisted, and Lemvig. Please forgive me for pronouncing names so horribly, but that's my one Achilles heel. Where the wind gusts up to 126 kilometers or 78 miles per hour are expected, which could cause widespread damage. Alright, trains and boats across western Sweden have already been cancelled, and the Swedish Meteorological and Hydrological Institute has issued a Class 2 warning for several western regions. Heavy winds also expected most of the west of Götaland and Svealand. The Danish Meteorological Institute maintains Category 2 storm warning for part of North and West Jutland, valid from around Friday afternoon. As you see here, the storm going right through Europe and affecting these areas. Alright, let's take a look at the last article. Alright, major flood hit northeastern Ghana, killing at least 34 people, leaving 100,000 homeless. Let's pray for them that they are alright. At least 34 people have been killed and 2 are still missing after heavy rains combined with water spilling from a dam in Burkina Faso flooded parts of northern Ghana this month. Floods have caused widespread damage to agriculture, roads, and other infrastructure, and left as many as 100,000 people homeless. According to the statement released by Ghana National Disaster Management Organization, on September 20th, at least 34 people had been killed in the Upper West and Upper East and Northern regions this month. As many as 100,000 people have been displaced. The flooding was largely caused by overflowing White Volta River after the heavy rains and water released from Barger Dam, located on the same river across the border in Burkina Faso, some 30 or 18.6 miles from Ghana. NADO said that the water in the dam rose about 80% in the month of August as compared to 50% in August in 2017. The release of water started in late August, but the rate increased in early September, worsening and already causing bad flooding situation. In all, we have a record of 34 deaths and 2 people missing. The affected people are over 52,000, and we are still assessing the situation. All these happened during the time that the river overflowed its banks, but the rate of spillage has reduced and considerably, and unfortunately since last week, and this week there has not been any heavy rainfall. Alright, so praying for the people in Ghana. 34 people have been killed and 100,000 homeless. Alright. Praying for all those people, praying for all the people going through all these weather disasters. Also, we have to keep an eye on these 4 disturbances in the Atlantic. Hopefully, nothing develops and everything stays away from America. We had enough with Florence. So much flooding in North and South Carolina. We don't need any more. Alright, guys. Stay safe. God bless. And pray for people around you. We kind of need it. Alright, guys. Thanks for coming and watching my live stream. See you guys next time. No.